threw the teller the bag, and I told her just like this, my exact words. I'm like, bitch, you know what it is. And then she's like, I don't have any money in this drawer. I don't have any money in this drawer. And I'm like, you think I'm fucking playing? You think this is a joke? And then she was like, I don't. And she opened the drawer and she passed the bag to the next teller. And they put the money in the bag. I ran out the back door. Now, as I'm running, I hear a pop. So I thought I shot myself because I had a real gun. Even though I was 13, I had a real gun. I had bullets in it. I thought I shot myself. So I look and I look back and I see red smoke. I panicked. So I just.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Off the Curve. Today's episode is not just an interview, it's a testimony. I'm sitting down with someone whose life story forces us to look deeper at choices, consequences, and what redemption really looks like. My guest today is Deonte. At just 13 years old, Deonte was involved in a bank robbery, a decision that led to a sentence of 21 to 45 years. He spent 8.5 years incarcerated, navigated prison at an age when most kids are just figuring out who they are. His original out date was 2031, but that's not where the story ends. Since his release, Deonte has turned his pain into purpose, mentoring hundreds of people at a time, traveling across the country to some of the most impacted communities, including places like Memphis, speaking to ages 6 all the way to 70. He's been honest about the struggles, the setbacks, and the ongoing fight for freedom. And today he's here to tell us his story in his own words. All right, man, tell him a little bit about yourself, man. Where you from, man?
I'm from Peoria, Illinois. My name is Deonte Moore. I'm 30 years old.
Alrighty, so we're going to get right into it, man. We're going to start with the upbringing and early mindset. So what did your childhood look like growing up in a one-parent household, and how did that shape your view of the world early on?
Growing up, it was pretty good. Uh, Having a single mom, no father, it was kind of hard because I never really got a chance to really see my mom. All she did was really work, 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 work. And I have I have two siblings. They are girls. I'm the only boy, and I had to be the man of the house, which put a lot of pressure on me. So not having a father, it was kind of rough. My mom working all the time, not spending time with us. So
All right, at 13 years old, what pressures or influences were you feeling that most people your age couldn't see? I see you say it like, you had the pressure of being the man of the house. What other obstacles or influences were you involved in at that time, or that you was going through mentally?
um, really, my uncle was an influence on me. Watching him when he come around and the things that he was doing, and um, yeah, really, that's really the only influence.
So is that who you say you looked up to, your
Yeah, I
uncle?
looked up to my uncle, but he really ain't make good choices himself. So that's where I kind of feel like I fell downhill at too. Watching him, watching the things that he was doing, I'm like, hey, I want to be like Unc, you
Hmm.
know. So
Okay, looking back, what do you think you were really searching for at that age? Was it money, respect, safety, or just belonging?
to be honest, I really feel like all of the above. I wanted the money. I was a kid that used to be like, hey, look at that car, key lock, no steals.
Hmm.
Like I wanted the car, I wanted the rims, I wanted the shoes, I wanted the J's. And my mom, she never struggled. And she always gave us whatever we wanted and needed, but it was some things that she would say no to. So I felt like I wanted to be a, an adult to be old enough to go and get it myself.
Already. Walk us through your mindset the day you robbed the bank. What were you telling yourself in that moment?
I was telling myself, I know I'm gonna get away. It was something that I really already had in mind. So I really went in and wasn't going with no regret, or wasn't finna back down, or wasn't finna turn around. So I wasn't finna turn around, you know.
Yeah.
Not only that, I wasn't by myself either. You know, I had a, I wouldn't say rappy, I'd say a co-defendant, which I didn't even tell on. You know, I just kept it. You know, I kept it P, and I took my lick, and I kept on rolling. So it was really premeditated. You know, it was like, hey, look, I'm getting in and I'm getting out. That's the mission.
Now during the case, did they figure it was another person? Like, did he come in with you, or was he waiting out? Like, with that dynamic, did the police or the investigation did it feel like it was another person? Did it know that it was somebody else involved?
Nah, they really didn't know nobody else was involved.
Walk us through the A to Z, man. Like waking up and you know what I'm saying, actually committing the act. You know what I'm saying? Well, how was you feeling? Like walking into the scenario, and how did it end? Like, tell us the story of, break it down for us.
All right, so I woke up and I'm like, okay, today is the day I'm gonna decide to do this. Um, I got robbed, so I ain't have nothing. So I'm like, okay, I'm finna. What can I do, or what can I rob to where I can have a lot of money to where I won't have to worry about nothing. So I thought about the bank. So that day I'm like, this the day I'm gonna do it. So I just woke up. It was raining. I'm like, they can't bring the dogs out. They can't smell the dogs. This the day to do it. So I went and did it.
So now walking in, was it like a was it like a pep talk on the way there? Like you know what I'm saying? Take us through that. Take us through the robbery part of it, I guess.
It was like I said, it was, I was determined. I knew I can get away. Everything that I did, everything I knew I can get away. So it was like, only thing I was thinking about was me smiling, having the money, and
Right.
that's what I wanted to do.
So did you wear, like, you wear all black, or like going in, would you hand the teller a note, or how you go about that?
All right, so the bank, it got two entrances. You got the front and then you got the back. So I came through the front and I threw the teller the bag, and I told her just like this, my exact words. I'm like, bitch, you know what it is. And then she's like, I don't have any money in this drawer. I don't have any money in this drawer. And I'm like, you think I'm fucking playing? You think this is a joke? And then she was like, I don't. And she opened the drawer and she passed the bag to the next teller. And they put the money in the bag. I ran out the back door. Now, as I'm running, I hear a pop. So I thought I shot myself because I had a real gun. Even though I was 13, I had a real gun. I had bullets in it. I thought I shot myself. So I look and I look back and I see red smoke. I panicked. So I just took off running, not knowing what the red smoke was. So as I'm running, I had somebody with me. As I go to the car and unlock and try to open the door, he rolled the window down and tell me to throw the money in the car. What the hell I look like? So you can just pull off and get away? So I turned around and I ran and I went on the side of the house, and it's a window well. I put the money in a gun in the window well, and I started to just walk off like I'm a normal person. As I'm walking off, it's a police officer flying down the street. We lock eyes. He stopped. Skirt. Get out the car. He get to chasing me. Make a long story short, I lose him. I hid in an abandoned garage. I hid in a garage for like 4 or 5 hours. Some lady neighborhood watch, seen where I ran, seen where I hid at. And when they came in there the fourth time, that's how I knew somebody had told them that I was in there. So when they got me, I was sitting down behind a couch, and they picked me up and they slammed me, put the guns to my back, my head, and everything. I'm like, I'm only 13, I'm only 13. And they looking at me like, what the hell? But that didn't let them know for sure that I was the one that robbed the bank just because I fit the description.
Yeah.
So 4 hours later, they found me because somebody told them I was in there.
They ever say how much money you had got from them?
It was 16,000. I mean, now 16,000 ain't nothing, but to a 13-year-old, that's some change.
Now that red smoke, that bang, was that dye pack? They had a dye pack in
Yeah,
there.
okay, yeah. So the red smoke, it was a die pack. They put real money in there. They put a stack of fake money in there. And once you get a certain amount of distance away from the bank, it automatically explodes.
Mm.
So the only reason how they knew it was me is because I had the dye on my hoodie.
Mm.
And it seeped through and it got on my shirt, my boxers, and everything. So me fitting the description wasn't enough for them because I hid the money and I hid the gun. When they
Yeah.
found me, I didn't have it on me.
Okay. Did you understand the weight of the consequences at 13, or did it feel unreal at the time? Getting caught and really being in like, man, I'm really about to go to jail for this. You know what I'm saying?
Um, it really didn't. It didn't hit me because I didn't think I was gonna be in jail that long. I just thought I just did something. Now I'm in timeout. I'm going to timeout for a little
Mm.
minute.
So when you heard the sentence 21 to 45 years, what went through your mind emotionally and mentally?
Man, when they gave me the time, they had already let me know how much time I was gonna get before I actually got sentenced.
Mm.
But it was like, damn, I messed up. I'm stuck.
What choices do you now see as turning points where you could have gone differently, where you could have made different choices, maybe? You know what I'm saying? I know the obvious is like, maybe I shouldn't rob that bank, or would you change that? You know, looking back now.
Father, just listen to my mama,
Mm.
man. If I'd have just listened to my mama and not get greedy and be a kid and live a kid life and not try to live a fast lifestyle, knowing dang well that wasn't the lifestyle I couldn't even handle. Look what happened to me.
13 is crazy work, my boy. I can't even, you know what I'm saying? That's wild right there, but I mean, we all, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We all make some choices, but what was the hardest reality to adjust to once you were incarcerated at such a young age? I would imagine, right, they had you on the younger side, right? Did you ever, you know what I'm saying, take us through that, and did you ever transfer over to the adult?
Um, yeah, okay, so I got locked up when I was 13, 2009. They gave me 21 years, 2010 when I was 14. I went to juvenile prison.
Hmm.
My mom told me don't plead guilty. Take your case to trial. They give a chance to come back on the appeal because they gave me 21 years and sent me to adult court when I was 13. So that's too much time for a minor.
Mm-hmm.
So I came back on my first appeal when I was 16. I went to Peoria County Juvenile Detention Center. I turned 17 in Peoria County Juvenile Detention Center. They sent me straight next door to Peoria County Jail at 17.
Hmm. How was it like in there? Like, you know what I'm saying? Was it like, you know what I'm saying, everybody think it's like how you see on the movies, or how was your experience walking through, and then the transition from being in you know, a younger prison until going into adult penal system?
It was it was kind of scary. And I only say that because when I came back on my first appeal when I was 16, I turned 17. I was supposed to be coming home then.
Hmm.
I wasn't supposed to be going to adult, but they sent me back to adult court again. So as I went in, I'm like, dang, I'm in here. I'm still a kid at 17.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dang, I'm in here with these grown men. Like, what somebody might try to steal my commissary, try to rape me, or, I don't know what I'm walking into, you know. But it was shocking because everybody knew I was young. It was like, what you in here for? What you in here for? I'm like, man, I robbed a bank when I was 13. Hey, what? Now I got the whole floor.
Hmm.
So, it turned out to be pretty good because they respected me at a young age because I had a serious offense. So they knew I had heart.
Hmm.
So no one really ever tried me.
Now, when you went, you say you went, your first appeal was at 16. What was the result of that?
Um, it went to the appellate court, and it's the best out of 3 judges, and all 3 judges won in my favor. So when they sent the case back to Peoria County didn't do what they were supposed to do. They didn't give me juvenile life, which was they were supposed to give me. That's the most that you can get in juvenile court. They sent me to adult court and treated me like an adult.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you from there, did you have to go back and appeal again, or
Yeah, I had to appeal again. I got sentenced to 21 years again when I was 17. That's when I went to Peoria County Jail. And then they sent me to adult prison. At 17 years old, I was the youngest person. They really said, in a region for me to step foot in an adult facility, 17 years old.
And what was the hardest reality to adjust to once you were incarcerated? Like, what was, walking in? You say you thought that, you were around all these older people who probably did time, this, that, and the third. You thinking that they might try you? Was that like what was the hardest thing to adjust to? You know what I'm saying? Outside of, being in there and can't leave, you know what I'm saying? Was it the wake up time? Was it the go to sleep time? I got some long days in jail, man. Them like the longest days ever, for real.
It was different because right then and there, once I got sentenced to them 21 years again, I knew I wasn't coming home, so I gave up. I gave up. I cried. I didn't come out my cell. I didn't make no phone calls. I wasn't going to wreck. It was over for me. It was over.
Now, how would you say that changed you? You know what I'm saying? Both ways, that help and hurt, being incarcerated.
It changed me because I wish I would have made better decisions, and if I would have just thought before I react, a lot of things would be way different. It'll be way different.
So what moment you think, is it a moment that sticks out while being in there, when you realize, like, man, that ain't the life you wanted, like you really had to change some things and, go about life differently? Or was it all just the reality hit you all at once them doors closed?
Reality just hit me all at once. Once I got to that adult prison, it was gladiator school. It hit me like, dang, this real life. This ain't no TV. Like, dang, why I do that? Like, why?
How did you end up protecting your mind and, keeping your sanity while you was in there? Cause, man, being that, bro, that's, being 13 and you still growing up, and that happened all at once. How you protect your sanity? You know what I'm saying?
To be honest, like I said, I wish I would have just listened to my mom. And the person that I was with, I ain't tell on, but my mama had my back. My whole bid, the whole 8.5 years. I ain't miss a commissary. She answered that phone for me. I got mail coming in. My mama was the reason why I made it through all that time. And she ain't even really had to do that because I was being hard-headed and wasn't listening to it.
Shout out to OG, man.
Shout out to OG.
For real.
Shout out to Juanita Moore.
So how did it come about where you got out at 21? You say you only end up doing 8.5 years from that sentence.
Okay. Like I said, after adult prison at 17, I won my second appeal. I won.
Okay.
I came back to Peoria County when I was 20 years old. They put me in JDC with little kids. I'm 20 years old. I'm growner than a mug, and I'm in here with little kids because my case went back to juvenile court, so now they treat me as a juvenile.
Oh, okay.
So I had my 21st birthday in JDC, and I finally ended up getting sentenced and stayed in juvenile court. And I got released from juvenile detention.
Okay.
21.
Now, when you got out, you was on the monitor.
No, when I got out, I just was on papers for 9 months.
Okay.
9 months. Basically, that's what it was. Time served.
Okay.
Because if they would have gave me juvenile life when I was 13, like they were supposed to, I would have been getting out when I was 21, or I could have had a better chance of getting out and being on parole.
Hmm.
But
Okay.
they put me on juvenile probation when I got out.
All right, then. In all these years, even after release, you've had a couple more run-ins with the law. What do you think makes staying free so difficult?
Man, not getting a job, man. It's hard in Peoria trying to get a job. Like, I mean, back then I couldn't work, so I really couldn't have no excuse on what I did,
Hmm.
you know. But now it's hard having that background from me robbing that bank. Every time I try
Yeah.
to get a
Okay.
job, every time when they do a background check, that pops up, knocks me right out the box. So the only thing I can do is use my mental and think about the things I know how to do to get money, and which is hustle. So I got no choice but to hustle.
Huh. And you said when you first touched down, you was mentoring. You was in the mentorship program. Like, what pushed you towards mentoring instead of going back, you know what I'm saying, to the same old things that you knew and trying to what inspires you to help others, or how did that come about?
It came about me being in JDC. Like any facility I ever been in, I was always on the highest level to be out my cell a lot, to have more privileges.
Hmm.
And all the staffs knew I had time and they wanted to make my time easier. And it was a lot of inmates and detainees who weren't who weren't doing what they were supposed to do, fighting and you know all that type of stuff. And everybody really looked up to me. So the staffs basically treated me like I was a staff more than an inmate.
Okay.
So I had my own group, like they have groups every day, and it's basically like encouragement groups, and everybody sit down and they talk about their problems and things like that. And since the staff noticed that the kids listen to me, like dang, they really listen. Hey Deonte, can you go over here to this pod and talk to them? They
Hmm.
over there fighting and this and that. They gave me my own group,
Hmm.
and it was people who really heard my story coming to visit me, like Carl Cannon. You familiar with Carl Cannon?
Yes, sir.
Um, one of my friends, his name is Cal Gorman. He's a sergeant in the army, in a few different churches,
Hmm.
and they inspired me to do that. And when I came home, that's who I came home to. The churches, a place called City Life, um, another place called Youth for Christ, and they took me to travel and talk, and speak to kids to tell my story because they see that I was good at it, but I never really knew how big my story was until I started hearing it.
Hmm. Now you said when you were going mentor the people, it's 200-300 people in the room, or 400. You know what I'm saying, that you mentoring to. So when you going to speak to people, what's the message that you want to hit the hardest? What you want people to if they don't hear anything else you say, what's that one message you want to resonate amongst the people?
Not only do I want them to listen to my story, I want them to understand that they have a chance to better themselves.
Hmm.
They got a chance to listen to their mom at that age, because if I would have listened to my mom at that age, I wouldn't have went through what I've been through. They living a better life that I didn't get a chance to live.
Hmm.
I didn't go to prom. I didn't get to go to high school. I didn't get to graduate from schools or none of that. I had to get my education being incarcerated.
Hmm.
I missed out on the phones, technology. It wasn't flip. It was only flip. It was flip phones when I went to jail.
Hmm.
It wasn't touchscreen phones. It wasn't flat screens. It wasn't games. I got locked up when what Xbox 360 had just came out. You know,
Already.
so my main thing I want them to understand is just listen to your parents. You know, I always think every day I think, and I kind of battle with myself like, man, I'm 30 years old. I got locked up at 13. What if I would have never got locked up? What would I would have been? Would I would have been a doctor, football player, basketball player? uh, or could I have not been here on Earth at all? You know?
So you say with mentoring with kids and adults, uh, how does that change your view of the story? Is that when you say you really realize like, man, I like this really hit hard. Like I really got a story.
Yeah. It all started this summer that just passed. I used to go speak at a camp that's about an hour away,
Mm.
and when I tell you, it's people from all different states, and I had people crying, tears coming up to me, hugging me, and I'm like, dang, this really like they felt my pain,
Mm.
but I don't feel no pain though,
Mm.
but I know it's pain in me somewhere. I just don't know where it's at. But when I speak it, the people hear it.
Mm. That's
So
when it come out.
it's deep. Yeah, it's deep because I still don't know. You
Mm.
know, I still haven't even really figured myself out yet. You know, I'm still catching up on things.
Yeah.
You know, so it's deep. It's deep.
So you feel like you know what I'm saying, you missing out on all that as a kid. Now you really kind of like trying to still catch up from all that.
Yeah, because when I came home, it was hard to get a job, and then you know I had kids. I got two kids. My son 6, my daughter 7. So you know, going through the you know, I'm 21. You know, I ain't never had a real girlfriend.
Mm.
But you know, I come home and I had kids, and then going through the baby mama drama, and then you know going through the little runs in with the laws and stuff like that. You know, you know it hit me. It hit me. It still hit me. You know, still going through it.
Yes, sir.
You know?
So if you could sit across from your 13-year-old self today, what would you say? And do you think that the little 13-year-old you will listen?
I feel like the 13-year-old me would listen because I always talk to myself, and I always talk to myself before anything.
Mm.
You know, so if I would have had the mindset right now that I had back then, man, I'd be a cold mug, man. I'd be a cold mug. I wouldn't have went to jail for robbing the bank. I'll tell you that.
Mm.
I guarantee you, I wouldn't. I would have been driving. I
Oh.
wouldn't have had nobody with locking the doors, trying to get me to throw the bag in the car, and then he take off. Now you know.
All right, so we're gonna wrap it up, man. But I just, you know what I'm saying, I just want you to just give just a quick message to anybody that's gonna be watching this. I tell you too, man, this might be your first one, man, but I think you're gonna be receiving some requests, bro, for real.
I mean,
You know what I'm saying?
Look, that's not even half. I got a lot to talk about, for real, for real. You know, I know it's all about timing right now, so you know, this can just be part one. We can have a part two.
Already.
You can think of some more questions to ask me because it get deeper than that.
All right, man. And to wrap it up, man, like if you can give a message to the youth out there, man, that's headed down the wrong path, man, what we see every day, especially, you know, being that, you know what I'm saying, I watch Peoria so closely because I'm from there. You know, you got kids out here really wilding out, man. So what would the message would be that you would give to the youth today?
The message I give to the youth is, you know, you ain't gotta be just like everybody else. You ain't gotta have the gammas like everybody else. You ain't gotta do stuff just to make yourself look cool. You know, just listen to your parents, listen to your mom. Just do what you're supposed to do. Do your chores. You know, it'll come to you. You can get whatever you want. My problem is I never really did my chores. That's why I never got what I wanted. You know, so just stay in school, listen to your parents, and stay away from friends. You know, some friends are bad friends. Look at your surroundings and think about what friends that you have that are really real to you. Because I got incarcerated and my friend was with me, but my friend ain't treat me like a friend or act like I was a friend. So just keep it together and don't try to fit in. That's all I gotta say. Don't try to fit in, because
And tell them how to.
never know. You never know where to get you. I tried to fit in and try to be cool, and it got me 21 years. So.
And tell them how to reach you, man.
You can reach me at Deonte Moore on Facebook, No caps, no spaces on Instagram. The real underscore Bankboy. Bankboy is BANKBOII.
Already appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you too.